Here are your challenge questions for today on this wonderful Friday. We're getting close to that test. Now really see the kind of effort you guys are putting forth in learning this stuff come Tuesday on the test. But remember, in blue, that's what you're expected to know at this point, and yellow is more of a challenge. All right, we are on page 183, and we are going to rock out the Unit 4 actual review from the book. Now, some of these questions aren't my favorite. However, it's kind of taking for granted that we know how to do it, and it's testing us to see to what level do you get it. Do you just kind of get it, or do you get it? So I'm going to work on all the odd numbers right now on this video, and you are to fill out these answers in your book. But most importantly, more importantly than filling it out, just try to open your mind up to understand these answers. Number one, classify each product, which is your answer to a multiplication. Classify each answer as being equal to 43, or equal to 430, or equal to 4,300, and then put that letter in the box. Okay, so A, 43 times 10 to the second power. There's no decimal to jump over, so you're going to add 2 zeros, so that's 4300. That's this one. B, 43 times 10 to the first power. You're just going to add 1 0. Boom, this one. And then this one is 4.3 times 10 to the second power. It's going to jump over once, and then you're going to add a 0 because it's jumping twice, once, two, so that's 430, this one. 0.43 times 10 to the second power. Decimal is going to move over twice, once, twice. So 43 times 10 times 10 is, this is 43. 43 hundredths times 10 times 10. This is 43 hundredths times 100. You're going to get 43. 4.3 times 10 to the first power. Decimal moves over one time. Turns out to be 43. And then 4.3 times 10 to the third power. There's one number to jump over to turn into 43, but then you'll still have two more tens to multiply. So it ends up being 4300. So here's your answers. And then down here, remember, we're skipping the evens for now. We're going to work on all the odds right now. And then down here, it just says, choose one from each column that's going to give your answer 3 zeros. So if you go here, we need 2 more zeros. So you'd go here, and then to check, you cross off zeros. 4 times 2 is 8. And then you add the zeros back. So does that one? Yeah, that's an option. And there's other options as well. That's just the one that I came up with. The other options, so I said 20 times 400. There's also 200 times 40 and 2,000 times 4. So a couple different ways to get an answer with 3 zeros. Number 5, select each item with an answer that's equal to 260. Well, I put a box over the whole thing. That was not helpful. So let's look at them. We'll see the answer to. That's okay. Okay, so does this one have 260? Well, the decimal's going to move over once and then twice. So you're going to add 1 0, so 260. Yep. And this one's 0.26, move over 3 times, once, twice, and then add a 0, 260. Yep. And then over here, you're going to add 3 zeros. That's 26,000. So that does not work. And then over here, you're just moving over once. It turns into 26. That does not work. So the top two are your answers there. Ben says that the answer to 50 times 60 should have 2 zeros. But Charlene's like, no, dude, it's going to have 3 zeros. Who is correct? Well, we kind of worked on this already. That's why it's review. Remember, sometimes when the two numbers you multiply make a 0, you'll have an extra 0. So 6 times 5 is 30. So 6 times 5 makes a 0, and then you're going to add the other 2 zeros. So it's 3,000. So Charlene is correct on this one. Good job, Charlene. Nicely done. So which student is correct? Well, our girl Charlene is correct. And what is the answer? Well, we got that. It's 3,000. How do you know? What do you mean, how do I know? What do you mean? Just put a smiley face there. Like, we know because we crossed off the zeros. We multiplied 5 times 6. We added the zeros. That's how we know we did it. We did the problem. This author, man. I wonder how much money he got paid for making this book. Number 8 is even. Let's go to number 9, and let's get rid of our animation too, or annotation. Select the expression, so the problem that is equal to this. Oh, perfect. Remember, when we have an exponent to these little tiny guys, that is condensing this. So this is times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10 to the third power. So this is 8 times 10 to the third power. Ooh, is 80 times 10 to the second power the same thing? Yes, sir, Bob Ruski, it is. That's the same exact thing because the zero is already here. What about this one? Negative. Ooh, what about this one? That's 30. That is not 10 to the third power. That is 30. No. What about this one? Well, you're going to add one more zero, so it's 8,000. Perfect. And then this one? Nope, not enough zeros. So those are your answers. Jody's best score on a video game is 50 points. Huh, that's not very good. That's not very good. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know the game. But Mark scores like, I get 1.5 times that much, Jody. How many points would Mark score? Well, this is just a little mathematics here. Jody times 1.5. So what I like to do here is in multiplication, you could change the order because the order does not matter in multiplication. And just multiply by 5. Why are you multiplying by 5? Because I'm getting rid of the 0 and I'm going to add it to my answer. Now, I can kick this over. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7. I kicked it this way, so it's going to boomerang back. Now I'm going to add my 0. Oh, I see. This is what's confusing. If I add a 0, does it change anything? No, it does not change anything at all. So actually what adding a 0 is multiplying by 10. So therefore, what happens is the decimal goes back. That's some confusing stuff. Now, to check it, does it make sense? 1 times 50 is 50, and then half is 25, and you're going to add those together. So if that's really confusing, you know, you can go ahead and multiply it the real way. If you're like, dude, that doesn't make any sense, so multiply it the real way. Go ahead and put your 1.5, put your 50, do your lattice method. Oh man, I've never latticed with a mouse before. This is just too much. It's very stressful. Okay, the 0 falls down, the 5 falls down, the 7 falls down, and then we have this decimal to deal with. Bring it back. Answer is 75, just like we said. Whew, that was hard stuff. Virginia's best score is only 6/10 times Jody's best score. So Jody's 50. And then we're going to multiply that by 6/10. We can lattice it up again. 6 times 5 is 30. The 0 falls, the 0 falls, the 3 falls. But remember, we had a decimal here. It moved over once, so it needs to move back once. Answer's 30. And 30 makes sense because 6/10 is about half. half of 50 is 25. So that's good. All right, let's get rid of those disgusting looking lattice methods. 75 is that answer. And 30 should be this answer if we didn't make any mistakes. Come on. There we go. All right. Number 13, how is multiplying 3/10 by 10 like multiplying 3/10 by 1/10? Ooh, tricky. You can go ahead and put a smiley face on this one and just listen to my explanation so you don't have to write it. So they're both multiplying by powers of 10. This is getting 10 times bigger, which is taking the decimal and moving it out. So this is turning into 3. This is getting 10 times smaller because 1/10 of a number is the same thing as dividing by 10 or making it 10 times smaller. Now, because we find so many new tricks for multiplication, the tricks that we use, we don't really actually realize that the decimal's just moving the other way, but it is. So when you have a number, let's pretend it's 5.0. Whenever you move the decimal to the right, the number gets 10 times bigger. 10 times bigger than 5 is 50. But then if we have 50 and we take the decimal and move it left, the number gets 10 times smaller. And 10 times smaller is the same thing as taking 1/10. And multiplying by 0.1 is the same thing as taking 1/10 of something. So the real answer here, they're the same because the decimal moves. They're different because the decimal moves the opposite direction. All right. And then on the bottom, it says, describe how the digits shift when you multiply a number by 1/10. We kind of just did. The only difference is I don't look at the digit shifting, okay? When you get multiplied by 1/10, you have a decimal, and getting multiplied by 1/10 brings the decimal in one spot. The author likes to say if you have 123 and you get multiplied by 1/10, everything moves over 1. So he likes to look at it like the digits jump over a spot. I don't like to focus on the digits. I like to focus on the decimal because it's an easier way to work your math problem out. So if we focus on where the decimal's going left. If we focus on where the digit's going, it's going right. So that's where it's a little confusing. So don't worry about 15. I don't want that to confuse you guys. Don't worry about answering 15. Get rid of my ink. Now we're on 17. Write a letter of expression or of the expression next to the number that shows the answer. Okay. I'm not going to make the same mistake on this one that I did. So I will open up my video here and I'll go ahead and write it here. So 82 times 7/10. 82 times 7/10. I'm going to multiply 82 times 7. Sorry, I did it fast. I just knew there wasn't going to be a carryover. You always go 4, 7, 5, and then it wasn't 7, it was 7/10. So that answer is 57.4, which is right here. So I will take my, I will take my ink and 57.4, like this. Are there any 82.7? Yeah, there's one right here. So the same digits, we already know the answer. The difference here is the decimal's going to move over twice. So then you do 82 times 7, and then the decimal's going to move back twice. So that answer is 5.74. I'm cheating a little bit here. And then we have 6 times 92. 552, but it was 0.6. So the decimal moved over once, so it moves back once. It's 55.2. And then, are there any like that again? Yeah, right here. 92 times 6. But this one has 3 decimal numbers. So same answer, 3 decimal numbers. Same answer, 1, 2, 3 decimal numbers, 0.332. 0.552. Why did I say 3? 0.552 right here. And then last but not least, 74 times 8. Eight times 4 is 32, and 7 times 8 is 7, 14, 28, 56. 2 falls down, 9 falls down, 5 falls down. So it's 592. This one right here has 1 decimal number after it. So the answer is going to have 1 decimal number after it. So that one's 59.2. And then the last one here has 3 decimal numbers after it. So the answer has to have 3 decimal numbers after it. Boom. So that answer should be like that. Choose the word or the phrase that makes each sentence true. When you multiply by 100, each digit shifts which way? Okay, well, here's 5. Put 5's in the 1's place. Remember, he likes the digit. So the digit, when it gets multiplied by 100, shifts left. It shifts left. So it's going to shift left how many times? Twice when it gets multiplied by 100. And then 21, select the answers that are correct. Select the answers that are correct. Okay. Let's go back to my handy dandy pen here. This one's going to move over twice. So 2 spots. Remember, you get rid of the decimal. 2 spots, your answer is 600. And then after 600, it was supposed to move in twice. So the answer's wrong. What about this one? Move it out. So there's 1 decimal that's going to boomerang back. 300 times 1 is 300. And then when it was 300, it's going to move back in once. 30 is good. That one's good. We like that one. Good job there, my friend. And then this one's going to move over twice to turn into 1. 20 times 1 is 20. And then it's going to move back twice. So the answer is 0.2 or 0.20. Perfect. This one's good. We like this one. And then this is going to come out once. Answer is 90. And then it's going to move back in once. Answer should be 9. That one's fake news. So false, true, true, false. Mr. Clementi, he measures 29 7/10 grams of potassium chloride. He's doing that for each of the 7 lab groups. How much potassium chloride did he measure total? So we're going to do 29.7 times 7. 29.7, 29.7 times 7. First thing that you do when you multiply by a decimal is get rid of the decimal. Ignore it, but know how many spots you kicked it over. Know how many decimal numbers there was in the problem. Now multiply 297 by 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 9 is 63. And 7 times 2 is 14. And now the answer falls down. 9 falls down. 7 falls down. 10 falls down. 10's double digit, so 1, 0. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. Now we got to, this is going to boomerang back. When it boomerangs back, it comes from on this, the right in, and it's going to boomerang in. So there's one decimal number. So your answer is 207.9. And that is what I have for you on the odds. And then during our 10:30 appointment, we'll go over the evens. All right. And then we have the big fat test on Tuesday. And you guys should be prepared if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Wait, did I not even hide that? 207.9. All right, I'll see you in a little bit.